Oh, hi there. You found me in my living room, living my best life. For those of you who don't know me, which is everybody, hello, YouTube. My name is Roxy. You can also call me Red, and I run the podcast A Perfect Disaster, which is hosted on Anchor, but is available anywhere you cast your pods. The podcast is about mental health and therapy and the day-to-day living with it. I have been posting on Spotify for a few months now, and I had the thought of I like podcasting, but it feels very much like screaming into a void, and there's really no interaction between me and the 9 of you who are listening. Thank you for listening, by the way. I'm not diminishing your contributions at all. But I thought that maybe YouTube would be a good auxiliary place for the podcast, somewhere for more engagement, somewhere to help build a community of people who are suffering from similar mental health issues as I am, because there are a lot of us and we deserve to have each other's support. So here I am, starting a YouTube page like every other millennial in the world. For those of you who have not listened to the podcast, let me quickly catch you up. Hi, I am a woman in her mid-30s who lives alone with her 2 cats, and I've been struggling with my mental health since I was about 12 years old. And I've only started going to consistent therapy and started taking medication within the last 4 years. And therapy has helped. Therapy has helped so very much. I cannot overstate how much I needed therapy and how much benefit I derive from it. I recommend therapy to anyone who has ever had even a single thought of maybe I need to talk to someone. Go to therapy. Anyway, several months ago, my wonderful therapist recommended that maybe I start a podcast, a place for me to just stream of consciousness ramble like I do in therapy, but a place where I have those 30 to 40 minutes to empty out my head, and then I can listen back to it afterwards and see what nuggets of wisdom I've accidentally sprung on myself. I dithered for a while. I ignored her advice because that's what I do. My therapist gives me advice. I ignore it for several weeks. Then I implement it and I complain about how right she was. So I started the podcast, and for the first few weeks, I was kind of iffy about it. I wasn't sure I was deriving any kind of benefit. But then I started to really like it, and I started to find surprising nuggets of wisdom and surprising answers to the questions that I was raising. So I kept with it, and I'm nearly done with my arbitrary first season. And I thought that for season 2, I would introduce YouTube as another platform because I need validation. In reality, I really am looking for other people who have similar issues to me and who would like a place to talk together about our mental health and basically use this YouTube page for what one of my dear friends calls therapy, where we all decompress and recover from how stressful and heavy our therapy sessions were. So, yeah, I haven't quite decided what the content of these videos is going to be. I think I am going to do a weekly video recording of my podcast so that you can either listen to it as a pod or you can watch my beautiful face contort in all sorts of strange ways while I do my rambling. But I also thought that having some other content might be really useful. Maybe things like here are the mental health resources that I'm using right now, or here are ways that I'm using to improve my mental health, and maybe let's all do an activity together. I don't know yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out as the weeks go by. I'm sure that I will eventually know what I'm doing. But for right now, this short video is just to announce that A Perfect Disaster now has a YouTube page, which is likely to be constantly photobombed by this creature. This is one of my two cats. This is Flash, also known as Noodle. I swear he senses when I am on camera, because that is when he jumps up on the table and demands his scritches. You will likely be seeing a lot of him. The other cat, Dree, she doesn't jump on high surfaces, so she's very unlikely to pop up on the table to say hello. But maybe I'll manage to catch some footage of her in her natural habitat. So now that I've introduced you to the mascot of my podcast, I don't know if I have anything else to say other than, hi, hello, YouTube. It's nice to meet you. And I look forward to finding more people to connect with. And for those of you who followed me on the Spotify before I started recording my face today, thank you. And I don't know if this YouTube is going to be more popular, but let's experiment. So, to steal the tagline of my own show, stay safe, stay sane, and let's explore the possibilities of YouTube together.